Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful. AEW is moving one of their shows to a smaller building.
Yes.
Which is good news.
That was because they sold 1,000 tickets to Columbus, Ohio, and they're moving that show to the Comic-Con or some sort of convention that is taking place in the city at that same time.
Yeah. So. I'll find out what it is here. Then I'm going to talk about this after the break because I actually got a lot of news regarding running smaller buildings, which I think virtually everybody would agree would be for the best for AEW at this point. So anyway, I'll find it and talk about it after the break. Observer Live. All right. So I'm going to say it's going to be kind of vague, all right, but it's happening. I just don't know all the technical details, okay? So listen. So first off, there was scheduled to be a Collision show on December 7th in Ohio, and Post Wrestling had the story November 15th, a few days ago. AEW announced the December 7th taping of Collision will no longer be held at the Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Show was listed as canceled. It will now be part of GalaxyCon at the Greater Columbus Convention Center. So the Nationwide Arena was a 20,000-seat venue, and we're about 3 weeks away. They'd sold 1,000 tickets. Obviously, that's not good. You don't want 1,000 tickets in a 20,000-seat venue. So it was canceled. Now, I've been arguing for a long time, and it ain't just me. It's a lot of people, including people in AEW.
Most rational, sane-thinking people.
Start booking smaller buildings, okay? I mean, there are times where I watch NXT on Tuesday night. They're in a tiny building with 200 people in the building, and the atmosphere is significantly better than like a Collision, sometimes even a Dynamite. Like the Dynamite, last Wednesday, I mean, the crowd was dead. So,
which, by the way, is not helped by the fact that TNT Sports really does know how to mute a crowd. It came up again during the World Series and the playoffs for baseball. Like, I don't know what part they play in some of the wackiness that happens with the production errors with AEW, but if they're in charge of the sound mixing, somebody stop them, please.
Paul Heyman figured out, like, in the 90s, and obviously part of this was because, they were at a very limited budget with ECW, but he loved packing tiny dumps with just, like, fans, like, literally hanging from the rafters.
Clip that.
It's not even like but it fooled people into thinking, my God, this is the hottest promotion in America. Some of you don't remember this. There were people that argued in the 90s, Lenny would have been one of them, that ECW was the hottest promotion in America at a time when WWF and WCW were absolutely brutalizing them in every single aspect of business. But because they packed, 1,000 fans in an 800-seat building, it's like, oh my God, look at this. It's just crazy.
Look, at WWF was built on those sorts of magic tricks done in post-production. Yes, ECW and WWF at the time had to do things completely differently, but if you watch in the 80s, when you watch Superstars and all that stuff challenge, like, you would think the people are losing their minds. If you ever went to a TV taping, they were some of the saddest, most slow-moving, darkest types of shows you could possibly ever go to. They were awful, but it's the tricks they did to make it look good, which AEW's got to increase in doing here soon.
Now listen, if this is all about ego and you just want to book large buildings because, AEW should run in large buildings and not small buildings, we'll book the biggest building in every city. I mean, you can do that if you want to, but
why?
I just said you could do it if you want to, if you've got a lot of money. But what you should do, and I think everybody agrees on this except maybe Tony, book a smaller building. Pack it. Make it look like, hey, you better buy your ticket or it's going to sell out and you can't even go. So anyway, the point of all of this is I have been told that there is headway being made in running smaller buildings. Now, you hear that and you think, why does headway need to be made? Just book smaller buildings. Well, apparently, there actually was and I cannot give you all the details. I don't know all the details, but there was a logistical reason why they were running a lot of larger buildings, and it had to do with the set, and in particular, the lighting rig. There was something that they had in their set that was basically too large and heavy to get into smaller buildings. And so they have been working on retooling it so they can actually get their set into smaller buildings. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notify button, and you'll never miss a video again.